Well, good evening. It's good that you could join us right here on TV47 Weekend Edition. It is that moment where we also get the space of speaking to remarkable women in the country, and therefore we will be doing exactly that on Her Say. And we'll be having Dr. Florence Wambogo, a remarkable plant pathologist as well as a virologist who has made significant strides in contributing to the agricultural sector, not just in the country, but beyond, goes to Africa and the global fraternity. We speak to her this evening. First of all, just getting to know what is this that got her into this space and the challenges that she's gotten to experience, but of importance, the fact that she's making strides. Just what is this driving factor? Shortly on that. But before then, remember, it is, as always, the norm. Very important that we take a look at what is happening in the world of news, and here are the highlights. On TV47 Weekend Edition.
Usikae Nairobi ukifikiria umemaliza kazi. Kama unataka kuja maliza kazi, kuja West Pokot, kuja Turkana, unganisha viongozi, unganisha viongozi.
10 of pupils are unable to access education in Baringo and West Pokot counties due to the incessant banditry attacks.
So that ukienda kwa mtoto teenager, kengele na gongwa mahali inajulikana ni wewe.
Startling statistics from the Ministry of Health reveal that over 250,000 girls aged 10 to 19 were impregnated in Kenya last year alone. And President William Ruto in Namibia for the funeral of the late President Hage Geingob. My name is Linda Alela. Sign language interpreter tonight is Catherine Simaloi, and I'm told that we start off the bulletin with some bit of bad news coming all the way from Murang'a County, that several students have been injured after the bus that they were traveling in was involved in a road accident at Kawatera along Gitugi Murang'a Road. And of course, those rescued have been taken to Murang'a Level 5 Hospital. The bus was reportedly ferrying the pupils from a Scouts event in Nyeri when the accident occurred. Murang'a Sub-County Police Commander, that is Mary Maku, however, said that they are still trying to establish the fatalities and how many pupils have been injured. The notorious spot, just a few kilometers from Murang'a town, has a sharp corner and has several motorists roll off the road in the last few months. Of course, some breaking news coming our way that at this very point that several students have been injured after the bus they were traveling in was involved in a road accident at Kawatera along Gitugi Murang'a Road. Those rescued have been taken to Murang'a Level 5 Hospital, and the bus that they were reportedly traveling or was ferrying them from a Scouts event in Nyeri when the accident occurred. And Murang'a Sub-County Police Commandant, that is Mary Waku, however, said they're still trying to establish the fatalities and just how many pupils have been injured in the notorious spot just a few kilometers from Murang'a town. And of course, it has a sharp corner and has seen several motorists roll off the road in the few months.
Tumapo abisani ahoro yake ogona tunaka kana kinyo. horo bisa yake tuma kwa bisa ni horo yake ukaona tunaga kama kinyo.
And you will agree with me that it's been quite an activious, weekend for the Scouts family. Of course, celebrating the birth of Baden Powell, who's the founder of the World Organization of Scouts movement. Certainly, these students must have been coming from that end. But we'll be bringing you more updates. Remember, there's tension that, of course, has been playing out in relation to that accident that has played out. And we are yet to receive more updates as to the fatalities and as well the students who've been injured. We'll certainly be following up on that to give you more updates. And our tension is high in Baringo County due to the persistent banditry attacks that have resulted in the deaths of 8 people since the beginning of this year. This situation has also brought learning to a standstill in 5 schools in the area as pupils shy away. Meanwhile, in neighboring North Pokot, residents are grieving the loss of a 12-year-old boy who was killed by bandits yesterday. Sheila Chelangat with more.
The latest victims of the escalating banditry attacks in Baringo include a National Police reservist who lost his life, while 2 others sustained injuries. The attack occurred as they were traveling on a motorbike towards Kiserian, just 1 kilometer from Nasokuro Primary School.
Wakati nilijaribu kutoroka, nikaona ni kama risasi imezidi sana na ni kama hao watu wanakimbia towards the direction. Nikaamua kuamuka ili ni dive niingie msitu. Ndio sasa risasi kanipata mkono. Nikaanguka. Na hapo wakati niliingia msitu ndio nikajua kidogo niko sawa.
Reports indicate that the bandits had surrounded the school for 2 weeks, causing fear amongst teachers and students at Nasokuro. This situation has forced students to brave heavy tides in this lake, using the school boat as the only safe means of reaching their school.
The bandits are known. Even the one who killed the teacher had his phone. The security forces must act now.
Tragically, last Wednesday, a 59-year-old man was killed, forcing residents of Yatia area to flee their homes for safety. As a result, schools in the area have been forced to shut down. Similarly, in Kosile, Ngaratuko, Kibenos and Kagir, education has been paralyzed due to insecurity. Elsewhere in North Pokot, residents of Takaiwa village are living in fear after a 12-year-old boy fell victim to a bandit ambush.
Usikae Nairobi ukifikiria umemaliza kazi. Kama unataka kuja maliza kazi, kuja West Pokot, kuja Turkana, unganisha viongozi.
Residents have expressed their disappointment with the government response, saying the promises of actions have not materialized.
Sasa imekuwa ni kusafirisha wagonjwa na kusafirisha maiti. Kazi yetu kwa Baringo imekuwa ni hiyo. Hii nchi yetu imerudi kwa nini? Ndio tunauliza kila siku rais. Rais umetupea watu ambao wanatulinda. Lakini kuna kitu wamesahau.
Their demand is clear: immediate action and a comprehensive security operation in the area. Sheila Chelangat for TV47.
And now, Kenya is far from winning the war against early pregnancies, HIV infections, and gender-based violence. This is according to a report that was launched by the National Syndemic Disease Control Council and the Ministry of Health. Stakeholders in the health sector have called for strict measures against those found guilty for defilement, including castration for the perpetrators, as Elizabeth Itieno tells us.
In 2023, more than 250,000 girls aged 10 to 19 right here in Kenya were pregnant. These grim statistics have thrown Kenyans into a state of shock. And that's not all. That same year, 53,960 women, girls and children were subjected to gender-based violence. And now, health stakeholders are banning the midnight oil, trying to come up with the best solution to end the vice.
Sasa transformer haitagolewa, lakini Mimi naona nataka kuongea na waziri mwenzangu, waziri wa ICT. Tutafute technology. Ile mtu anawezeekewa mahali. So that ukienda kwa mtoto teenager, kengele inagongwa mahali inajulikana ni wewe.
The syndemic encounter where girls are sexually abused, coupled with early pregnancies and HIV infections, is what has been christened the triple threat. On Saturday, the Ministry of Health launched the government's plan to end the triple threats, with the host county being Bungoma, which is on the red list.
Mambo ya gender-based violence, which is another one. Bungoma, we are at 62%, the national average is 34%.
Scientists watawaambia figures don't lie. Zimeonyesha ukweli ya kwamba huku Western tuko na shida. Haswa hii constituency ya Kandui.
In the 5 western counties of Bungoma, Kakamega, Vihiga, Busia and Trans Nzoia, at least 38,025 attendees of antenatal clinics in 2023 were girls aged 10 to 19.
Mambo ya early pregnancy hapa Bungoma iko juu na pia Kakamega inaenda sambamba.
The counties have also reported 3,677 cases of sexual and gender-based violence against women, children and girls. The rise in cases of early pregnancies has been cited as the key catalyst fueling the transmission of HIV among women and girls. In 2023, 12,558 women and girls were newly infected with HIV as compared to 5,122 men and boys.
HIV, again, our prevalence is at 2.3%.
Na ile pesa tunatumia kwa nchi hii kushughulikia mambo ya HIV. Hiyo ni pesa ambayo inaweza jenga cancer center kwa kila county.
For now, women across the country have been urged to work in unison to combat the triple threat crisis so as to secure the future of the girl child. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47.
Well, quite some disturbing reports there. We certainly need to take care of our girls. And now tonight, President William Ruto's administration has sanctioned Azimio coalition leader Raila Odinga's bid for the Africa Union Commission chairmanship, saying that he deserves the post given his immense experience. Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale and Speaker of the National Assembly Moses Wetangula delivered Ruto's administration green light for Odinga, as the opposition said that Azimio leader will not retire from local politics even if he heads to Addis in February next year. Apollo Kamau with that.
The endorsement of Azimio leader Raila Odinga's African Union Commission chairmanship bid by Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale and Speaker of the National Assembly Moses Wetangula has cleared the way for Odinga to be the government's nominee in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, ahead of next year's vote. The president's trusted allies say the government will wage a continental campaign to deliver the post to Kenya and East Africa.
Tumeamua kauli moja kama Mkenya wetu, mzee wetu ambaye is overqualified ametafuta kazi hiyo. Sisi kama serikali, sisi kama Wakenya tuna jukumu moja ya kumsaidia huyo mzee apate hiyo kazi.
Tutavaa viatu tutembee katika capitals za Afrika kumuombea kura Raila Amolo Odinga. Amehangaika ya kutosha kujaribu kuwa rais wa Kenya. Sasa tumsaidie akuwe rais wa Afrika.
Azimio has however warned their Kenya Kwanza counterparts not to celebrate yet, saying the absence of Odinga from active politics in case he gets the post does not mean he is out of the 2027 race, where his absence is a major win for President William Ruto.
Na tumesema mchana na isikike ya kwamba kwenda kwa AU si kwa kusema kwamba wewe huwezi kuwa president. Bibi ya Zuma alikuwa chairperson, kaenda South Africa akasimama kama rais.
And Raila Amolo Odinga will not retire from politics because of an appointment. That appointment will come, it will go, but Raila Amolo Odinga will remain. Oh, come on.
The Kenya Kwanza administration anticipates an Odinga exit to Addis Ababa will give Ruto a free hand in delivering his campaign promises. Shuttle diplomacy, spearheaded by Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, has already kicked, as witnessed last weekend in Addis Ababa, where Foreign Affairs PS Dr. Korir Sing'oei met Odinga's emissary, former Ambassador Dr. Elkano Dembo.
Raila cannot make decisions on the basis of small men in Kenya. When he makes a decision, it's a decision that he has shared with leaders from other countries.
Mheshimiwa Rais Ruto, go full throttle kuhakikisha Raila amepata kiti ya nini? Ya African Union.
Sisi tuna support Raila Odinga akuwe chairman wa Africa Union Commission. Aende pale Ethiopia, awe anakaa hapo, aangalie maneno yote. Aangalie maneno yote ya Afrika mzima. Tunataka Raila akuwe baba wa Afrika.
Apul Kamau, TV47.
A developing story that we certainly work on some more to give you more updates. And now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua says that stringent measures will be put in place starting next week to eradicate illicit brews and drugs completely. And of course, according to Gachagua, the government is planning to implement tougher measures collectively across various government agencies, marking a departure from the usual approach to intensify the fight against the menace of illicit brews in the country. Gachagua is expected to lead an alcohol and drug abuse conference in Mombasa that will strategize and coordinate efforts in combating the illicit brew. Here's Vera Alberta with more.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua now says that the crackdown on illicit brews and drugs will be ramped up starting next week.
Kuwa na mkutano siku ya Alhamisi, mkutano kubwa na kila mtu, na wiki inakuja tutatangaza hatua kali ile tutachukua. Na ile maneno tumepanga, hii watu nauza hii pombe haramu ni Kenya watahama.
He emphasized that these new measures are designed to curb the spread of this menace across the country, ensuring that the lives of Kenyans are not marred by the consumption of illicit brews or drug abuse.
Hakuna, we cannot accept. Hatuwezi kubali mtu kuuzia watu sumu. Hii Kenya hii imeharibika kwa sababu wananchi walikuwa wanakunywa pombe na viongozi wanakunywa pombe. So hakuna mtu ya kuangalia.
Gachagua at the same time urged religious leaders to join the fight against illicit brew to ensure a sober nation.
Ndio tuweze kufanya mambo ya research, utafiti, tupate the right variety, ile iko mambo ya disease free. Kwa hivyo mambo ya kahawa, naomba watu ya hapa Mosop na watu ya Nandi County muweke mkazo hapo.
Meanwhile, Gachagua said a bill presented in Parliament to reinstate the Coffee Research Institute, a move aimed at benefiting coffee farmers.
Tuendelee kuzalisha chakula. So far, you have done very well. Governor atasaidia last mile ifike kila pahali, na hiyo itaendelea.
He encouraged farmers to continue the food production efforts, noting that fertilizer prices have been reduced to ensure they benefit.
Tuendelee kuzalisha chakula. So far, you have done very well. Governor atasaidia last mile ifike kila pahali, na hiyo itaendelea.
Vera Alberta, TV47.
Thanks, Vera, for that. Now, senators allied to the Azimio coalition have pledged to reject the housing levy bill once it is tabled in the Senate. According to the Azimio leaders, they will not sit back and watch as the Kenya Kwanza government drain Kenyans to their hard-earned money with projects they deem unviable. And of course, as Kisewa Emory speaks to this, the leaders have vowed to shoot down the affordable housing project, which is a crucial element of President William Ruto's bottom-up economic transformation agenda.
Waheshimiwa wa Wiper in the National Assembly and in the Senate, na watoleeni kofia.
Wiper Democratic Movement leader Kalonzo Musyoka has congratulated Azimio MPs for their courage during the debate on the affordable housing bill. He praised the Azimio leaders for displaying strong leadership by standing up for the majority of Kenyans who are feeling burdened by the taxes under the Kenya Kwanza regime.
Honorable members of parliament, you make us proud. I'm your party leader. Mulionekana pale mkipigwa picha. Mumekasirika because you have been on the side of the Kenyan people. Round 2 of impossible taxes. Mzigo ambao wananchi hawatavumilia. Nyinyi mkatoka mkijua pengine watapitisha tu.
This comes as senators allied to Azimio la Umoja vowed to oppose the affordable housing bill that was recently passed by the National Assembly. They affirmed their stance, declaring that they will not support the bill when it is presented before the Senate next week.
Hiyo sheria inakuja kwa Senate, nyinyi msikuwa na wasiwasi, senator wenyu atakataa hiyo kitu. Atasema no. Hata sheria ambayo ya Ruto mimi nimekataa.
Speaking in Chambeti area, Vihiga County Senator Godfrey Ototsi criticized members of the National Assembly for passing the bill, noting that the MP's actions indicate a deliberate sabotage of the will of the common mwananchi.
Jana wamepitisha sheria ya kusema housing tax. Ati uwe na mshahara, usikuwe na mshahara, watakuja nyumbani kwako utoe ushuru. Mtakubali hiyo?
In a unified voice, Machakos Governor Wavinya Ndeti urged senators to reject the proposed housing levy tax when it comes before the Senate, describing it as excessively punitive for the already burdened mwananchi.
Senator Sifuna amesema hapa. Sasa watu waache kuambia mimi nimeongea na seneta wangu. Na seneta wangu tumekubaliana asipitishe. Hao wengine waache kufanya ile cosmetic. Ni cosmetic hiyo. Kila mtu aende aongee na seneta wake. Wakikataa kuongea na seneta wao, wasiblame nini? Let them not blame anybody.
Kalonzo says that Azimio leaders will continue fighting for the rights of Kenyans, saying that they will embark on a nationwide campaign to raise awareness among Kenyans about the implications of the bill. Kisewa Emory, TV47.
And now President William Ruto has eulogized Namibia's President Hage Geingob as a passionate leader who was a Pan-Africanist and believed in the unity of African continent. Speaking in Windhoek, Namibia, Ruto described Hage as an advocate for implementing financial reforms, that is to free African countries from debt. The head of state is currently in Namibia for the burial of President Hage Geingob, who will be laid to rest tomorrow.
The state memorial service of the late Namibian President Hage Geingob was conducted today at the Independence Stadium in Windhoek, Namibia. Tonight, his body will lie in state for public viewing ahead of tomorrow's burial at the Heroes Acre. President William Ruto has paid tribute to Geingob, describing him as a leader who fought for the interest of the African continent and advocated for improved economic standards for Africans. Ruto reiterated Geingob's belief that Africa's voice could drive debates to bring about change in agricultural reforms, ensuring sufficient food and opportunities.
That we execute the reform of the international financial architecture so that we can liberate our economies from debt, so that we can demand that as nations we are not profiled negatively, we are not profiled unfairly, that together again we must demand responsible sovereign lending.
Ruto's statement comes a month before the debate on the replenishment framework, which aims to schedule discussions with the World Bank regarding financial freedom in Africa. Other leaders currently in Namibia for the funeral include Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu, German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier, Finnish President Sauli Niinisto, South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa, Angola's Joao Lourenco, and Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo, among others.
Our second president, Comrade Geingob, focused on Namibia's social progress and economic emancipation. He championed unity of purpose and action.
He had this remarkable ability
to easily connect with everyone he met. His legacy will live for generations to come.
Hage Geingob, age 82, passed away at Lady Pohamba Hospital in Windhoek on February 4th, weeks after being diagnosed with cancer. Having assumed office in 2015, Geingob was in his second and final term. He is known as the chief architect of Namibia's constitution and a pivotal figure in the country's liberation struggle. Paul Kirobi, TV47.
And may President Geingob's soul rest in eternal peace. Now, religious leaders want the judiciary and the executive to work together to ensure a better country. Speaking during a Thanksgiving service at Kaptum area in KU North, that is Catholic Bishop Dominic Kimengich of Eldoret Diocese expressed the need for the judiciary and executive to mend their differences and work together for the benefit of the country. Bishop Kimengich said that the tension between the two arms of government stems from a lack of respect from both parties. He has urged the judiciary and the executive to be guided by the truth and find a middle ground to resolve their differences.
Kufanya kazi pamoja iko na matunda yake, na sisi tungeuliza muungane pamoja, muache hiyo difference mko naye, muingize ile umoja, sababu umoja ni nguvu, na hiyo nguvu itawawezesha mfanye kazi ya maana, na watu wa jiko watafurahia na sisi wote tutafurahia.
Tunataka kuomba viongozi wa Kiambu. Kiambu kumekuwa na historia and it is well known by everybody. It is in history of Kenya ya kwamba tukichagua viongozi waingie ofisi, and especially ofisi ya governor, unakuta ya kwamba kila governor akiingizwa ni lazima kutolewe hii, kuletwe hii, na kunaanza kuwa na anga ya mgawanyiko ambao unachangianga mwishoe kuleta impeachment kwa governor yeyote ameshaingia kwa Kiambu County.
The clergy of Kiambu County felt we needed to address the discord in our leaders. The display of conflict, disrespect, and showdown of various political leaders in our great county in the presence of the president and the deputy was shaming for us.
And in sports, Bungoma Stars executed yet another underdog triumph, advancing to the FKF Cup round of 16 by defeating FC Talanta 1-0. That is Saturday at the Police Sacco Stadium. Meshach Makoha's 38th minute goal secured the victory for Bungoma Stars against FKF Premier League FC Talanta. Elsewhere, Kenya, of course, police also gunned Posta Rangers to sail to the last 16, Kinanga Clinton scoring the all-important goal. Sofapaka, meanwhile, survived a scare, beating Silhouette 5-3 on penalties after a 2-2 tie in normal time. Victor Kirui and Stanley Okwemba were on the mark for Silhouette, while Baron Ochieng and Andrine Klama scored for Sofapaka before they prevailed on the lotteries. And that is Andre Klama and not Andrine. That is who scored for Sofapaka. Away from that, Kenya Cup League leaders Kabras RFC outclassed their siblings Menengai Oilers 47-3 in a Kenya Cup tie that was played at the Kakamega Showground on Saturday afternoon. Kabras, who have been almost unplayable all season, exerted their dominance early on the match, with Ntabeni Dukisa being the first to go over the whitewash. Alfred Orege will soon follow suit as he scored Kabras' second try of the game, with Dukisa getting the run extras for a 12-0 lead. Patrick Lumumba soon joined the party to score a try of his own, and Dukisa ensured that Millers went to halftime with a 9-0 lead. At the KCB Sports Complex here in Nairobi, KCB proved too hot for the Kenya Harlequin to handle as they hammered Queens 45-15. Strathmore Leos staged a spirited 34-14 comeback against Homeboys Rugby as non-scripts continued their fine run from defeating Black Blood 22-10. All right, elsewhere, Tapio Pulkanen, Conor Sime and Darius Van Driel share a one-stroke lead at the halfway stage of the Magical Kenya that is open. Dutchman Van Driel, the overnight leader, set the clubhouse target of 7 under par, following up his 5 under par first round at Muthaiga Golf Club with a 2 under 69. He was then joined on that number by Finland's Tapio Pulkanen after they fired the 3 under par 68. Scotland's Sime made it a 3-way tie for the lead in the afternoon, after he also carded a 3 under 68, finishing with an eagle on the 18th hole. The trio, each going in search of a maiden DP, that is World Tour victory, are closely followed by a bunched leaderboard with 12 players sitting within 2 strokes.
Morning,